Hey guys, welcome back to Coin Knowledge. So today we're going to be covering Reploy, the ticker RAI, one that obviously we're seeing it up quite a bit on the one day. We're going to go over that. We're going to explain what I think is happening here with the recent price action. And we did cover this about a week ago now, so I'll show you guys where we covered it and where it's at right now and where I think this thing could potentially go. But as always, before getting into the video, if you guys do get value out of the content here, if you guys could subscribe to the channel and like the video. Your support really does mean a lot and it goes a long way. So if we take a look here at Reploy, again, this is one that we covered about a week ago now. When we brought it to you guys, we covered it. I gave you guys my honest opinion here, saying that it was extremely high risk, it was early on, and that the potential for big influencers like Alex Becker to pick this thing up could move the needle on the price. But again, it was one that was extreme risk, as it was literally labeled here in the title. But when we brought it to you, it was about $2.50 around there. So now we did see it kind of go up to about $7.50. So around a 3x, a little under a 3x here. But when we take a look at their Twitter, these guys actually have been building out their ecosystem quite well, since we covered it. So not saying that it's not risky. It is still risky. Obviously, it's a newer project on still a lower market cap, even at a $70 million market cap. But they actually do put out constant updates on their ecosystem, on their Twitter here as well. Put out their pricing, going over their revenue model. But, as kind of called with those big influencers like Alex Becker, what do we see here happening? Literally earlier this morning, we saw Alex Becker get interest here, finally commenting on one of their pages, and then commented again. And then we have another influencer here, CryptoZack LA, saying 500 million to a billion, and then Alex Becker saying probably. Now, I always tell you guys in these videos that big influencers like Alex Becker, I'm not saying that they have a crystal ball, that they always say the best thing, but you have to realize whether your stance on them is good or not, the following that these guys have, especially someone like Alex Becker who has millions of followers, these guys definitely have an impact on these lower altcoin projects. There's no denying that. When we see that he tweeted that, literally we can correlate it at 7:44 a.m. And what did we see here? We saw RAI Reploy go from that tweet alone, essentially from $5 all the way up to about $7.50. Pretty insane there. I mean, again, there is no denying that. I mean, that is literally like 25 million plus in market cap just from a tweet. So imagine if he does talk about it moving forward on other tweets, videos. Now, I wouldn't be betting solely on that. We actually are going to cover what the project is and what they've been doing. So, if we look at Reploy, they are that AI project a little bit. And again, for more of an in-depth review, you can find the initial video on Reploy on the channel. But if we take a look at it, they are a codeless, more of an infrastructure play in the AI space. We know that AI is a hot narrative for this cycle. I do think, with the new year Q1, I think we do see a little bit of a bounce across the market. We already are seeing some altcoins specifically, kind of recover from, the local lows that we had about a month, a couple weeks ago, not even that long ago, really. So, I do think we're going to see AI projects especially perform quite well throughout the cycle. But, they had their KYC done. They have different, partnerships here. The website has not changed. We covered it, but, it's a codeless infrastructure play within the AI space, but it is a newer project, so you can find a little bit more about that on the video if you want to, or as always, do your own research, go onto the website, the white paper. But when we take a look at some updates that they have had going on here, well, one, they did actually get a shout out from PAL AI. Obviously, we know that PAL is a pretty big project in the AI space. Again, like the influencer thing, whether your stance on PAL is positive or negative, it is a bigger project that does get talked about quite a bit in the AI space. So when we take a look at them, I mean, they have almost 100,000 followers. When we look, they did shout out a few different projects as well, but we do see Reploy here being shouted out by them. So a little bit more, recognition there as like a partnership and recognition, saying that, they're welcoming a diverse array of partners and incubations along leading projects. So they did, have the partnership with Reploy here as well. And when we take a look at their Twitter, these guys just put out updates constantly on their ecosystem. It is worth mentioning that unlike a lot of newer AI projects, they do not have a buy or sell tax. It's been like that since day one. We have seen their exchange listings also improve. I think they did go ahead and get a Mexi and a Bitmart listing since we last covered them. So 2 more centralized exchange listings. So that is worth mentioning as well. So again, I'm not saying this project is not risk. There is still risk here, obviously being a low market cap. When you look at the alt chart, people who got in early at like a $1 million market cap, I mean, they're up huge right now. You can do the math, about a 70x. But this token did come out, right before Christmas, the 23rd of December. So it is still quite fresh, about 10 days old here. So just realize that, zoom out on the chart. But as we mentioned in the last video, when we look at other projects that kind of had similarities going on with them, being in the AI space, but also being, I hate the word shield, but just talked about big influencers like Alex Becker. We saw stuff like Pinlink literally go on a similar run where it went from pennies all the way up to about $4 here. Now, I don't know if Reploy is going to have a similar run, but, now that Alex Becker has literally entered the chat on Reploy, I think there is potential for more upside on Reploy here. Now, obviously, if you got in earlier, great. I mean, it is going up as we're recording this video here. So I do think there's potential here at, covering it about a week ago here. Let me know in the comments below if you guys took action on Reploy. If so, you'd be up around a 3x, a little under at this point, but I'm sure by the time I wake up tomorrow, it will probably be higher. Maybe it won't. Who knows? That's the gamble you take here. But for an AI project with risk that is newer, that potentially could have more upside, that's putting out constant updates to their ecosystem, I do think Reploy is a good candidate if you're looking for something like that to put in your portfolio here, especially as a trade. Now, long term, I still think this project, has to get a little bit more stuff going on to it, in my personal opinion. But I think they are doing the right thing as far as a newer project goes, and it does. From a week ago, they've already done so many things that it has decreased slightly from extreme higher risk to, there is just, it's still high risk, but I don't think it's as degen as it was obviously a week ago. We have more exchange listings. They put out more updates. They're getting partnerships with other AI projects like Pal AI, being talked about by more influencers. So it is, every little step does really matter for a newer project like this. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think of Reploy? Do you think it's going to have a similar run like Pinlink? I mean, we can zoom out at the chart. It does look like it potentially could. I mean, the chart does look great. Whether you got in at 1 million or if you got in here recently at, even $4 to $3, or when we covered it about a $2.50 range. Let me know if this is a project that you guys see potential on, and if you think you missed Reploy, what is the next AI project you have your eyes on, or if there's other projects you guys want me to talk about or get my opinion on. Let me know in the comments below. But that is an update on Reploy. Since we did cover it, I just want to give you guys my updated opinions, and I'll keep you up to date on what Reploy does in the future like this, because on a project this new with this much momentum and hype behind it, I think it's one that's worth, constantly updating you guys on and giving you guys my opinion on Reploy. And you can see literally how fast stuff does move in the crypto space. A project that, is a couple days old, give it a couple days to form a chart, also to put out those different updates, or sometimes they do rug. I mean, that is the risk you take here, but that's how fast, conviction levels can change on projects here. Now, that is my opinion. That's what they're doing. So let's see how the weekend goes for Reploy. If this thing makes a run up to 100 million, or if it goes back down to the $4 to $5 range. I'm personally leaning more towards it going to 100 million before consolidating or dipping again. That is my opinion. Let's see how it plays out. And as always, guys, if you guys want an optional way of supporting the channel, there is the Patreon linked below, or the Discord you can get into. And if you guys got value out of the content here, thank you for taking the time to watch it. And if you guys could, like the video, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share the video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right. See you guys.